Welcome to the Mobil Trend channel. Subscribe now.
You joined me inside the all-new Rolls-Royce Phantom, which is quite exciting because it's the all-new one. It's the 8th generation. Rolls says that this nameplate Phantom has been going for longer than any other current production car. It's been going since the late 20s, but I don't think there's been a Phantom all of that time. And Phantom 7, which was the first one introduced under BMW's ownership, came out some 14 years ago. That's a long time, isn't it, for a new car to live, even a luxury car? So they've chucked everything at this. They've done it all again, straight from scratch. And they've created an all-new Rolls-Royce platform, which will underpin all new Rolls-Royces in future. So no 7 Series platform adopted for the Ghost and the Wraith and the Dawn in future. Anyway, there won't be a coupe or a convertible version of this. It's going to be saloon only. Then there's going to be the SUV. Then the coupe and convertible will be the Wraith and the Dawn. They'll be on this platform. Then there'll be the Ghost, which will have less stuff in it, I guess, than this, because this is the pinnacle. Phantom will always be the pinnacle of Rolls-Royce, apparently, which is why it's 400 grand, which is why it is the first to get this all-new platform. This new platform is quite clever, actually. It has an all-new aluminium space frame, all-new, unique to Rolls-Royce aluminium space frame that is 30% stiffer all-round than the old aluminium space frame that sat under the old Phantom. But in key places, like around the suspension and the gearbox mounts, it's 100% stiffer than it was before. It's also a bit lighter, but they say, well, that was by accident, really. All we wanted was to have it more stiff. But anyway, we've made the car heavier because we've put more soundproofing and more tech kit and stuff like that in it. This is a 2.6 tonne car. So 2.6 tonnes, well, that wants a little bit of shove, doesn't it? So it gets it. It's got a 6.75 litre V12, as before. This time, it has 2 turbochargers. It's actually the same block as you'll find in the Ghost, which is that BMW V12. Here they've stroked it out to 6.75 to get as much torque as they possibly can out of it, and flipping heck, has it got torque. 670 odd pounds-foot of it from 1700 RPM. Peak power is 563 at 5,000, but you're never going to get there. It revs to 6.5, you're never going to get there. This car does its best work, Rolls says, anything up to 2,500 RPM. Beyond that, kind of isn't in its remit, really. The idle speed is 642 revs. It's just absurdly powerful and torquey and grunty at very, very low speeds. It's a low-effort car. Why is it a low-effort car? Well, because it's supposed to be the epitome of luxury. It is meant to be the one you buy if you want the ultimate in luxury and refinement. So, I'm going to talk quieter, and I'm going to talk more quietly still. And I suspect you can still hear me, because even though I'm doing about 45 miles an hour, the loudest thing in this car is my hand on the steering wheel. It gets 130 kilograms of soundproofing, 6mm double glazed glass, and the tyres, this is really clever, inside each tyre is about 2 kilograms of foam, and that dulls the noise, because a tyre is basically an echo chamber, especially when you've got tyres with big sidewalls. This is on 22-inch wheels, so Rolls has put in this soundproofing. I can barely hear a thing. It is just utterly remarkable. As you would expect, it runs on air springs. It's got active anti-roll bars. It's got adaptive dampers. It's got electric power steering for the first time, which is really nice, actually. Really smooth. It's still retained the same kind of light feel, easy self-centering as the last Phantom, and it's got four-wheel steering, not necessarily to make it feel more agile, but just to decrease the turning circle. What else is new? Well, I mean, when you're talking about a 14-year-old car previously, although it had a controller much like this, it controlled the old BMW iDrive system with a kind of Rolls-Royce front on it. This has got the latest tech. It doesn't have the full suite of BMW stuff. It doesn't have semi-autonomous driving, and the reason for that is Rolls-Royce Phantom owners do 2 things. One, they sit in the back. I've done that. It's very nice. There's quite a lot of legroom. It's very comfortable. You could sleep there for about a week. Or sometimes they say, you know what, I don't want to sit in the back. I want to sit in the front. I want to actually drive this car myself. I want the pleasure of spearing along, looking over that long bonnet, doesn't have the kind of angled bonnet thing anymore. It's got a large sort of flat surface area. The boss, Torsten Muroff, says, I quite like that. You see the spirit of ecstasy reflected in it. It's like looking out over a lake. Okay, I guess. But it's quite a nice view. You can see where it ends. And because the steering is precise, because the ride is smooth, and it's so smooth, this ride, and because the car is so quiet, actually there is a real pleasure to be had from just driving it along in relaxed fashion. I mean, it's not a car that you would drive quickly through choice. I think it'll go quickly if you really want it to. And the active suspension helps just keep things in check and keep the body level. But actually the most fun to be had in it is just enjoying placing it on the road, because it's a big car. It does take some placing. And it's really, actually, surprisingly sort of good fun. Not all of driving has to be totally sideways, does it? If you've got another car, and Rolls-Royce Phantom owners generally do, they have 20 or 50 or perhaps even 100 other cars. So you don't really need this to do that sort of thing, do you? Anyway, how do you, though, conclude a piece like this? Because for better or worse, all right, it's not a noble career, but I'm a critic. You've got to give a star rating to a car like this. How do you give a verdict on a car that is going to be at least 400 grand, I should think? People will pay £1 million for it. You can have your own artwork along the dash in this little gallery. It's vacuum packed little gallery behind there so that no dust gets in. It's sealed, and you can design your own bit and just go, yeah, I want that, and they'll do pretty much anything you want. It is all about bespokeness and personalisation and luxury. And the boss says frequently, look, you're talking about these things like it's the car business. We're not in the car business. We are just in the luxury business. And there is a very good reason that people say, oh yeah, this yacht is the Rolls-Royce of yachts. This watch is the Rolls-Royce of watches. This brand stands for luxury like no other. So that's kind of the only way you can review it, isn't it, really? That's the kind of the only verdict you can give. Is it more luxurious than any other car you can buy? Does it occupy a unique position in the market? And I have to say, yes. If you want more luxury than any other car will give you, well, you still want a Phantom.